opportunity to share and to be on. You're doing some amazing things, and I'm giving it right back to you for what you've done and what you're doing in this industry, especially as it relates to travel. You just a phenomenon in what you do. But again, as you introduced me as Willie Cooper, I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, but raised here in New York, Harlem, New York, to be precise, and um, married, have a child, doing some major things as it relates to this business. But nonetheless, I grew up here, graduated from Brandeis High School here, went to college, Institute of Technology, but geared my way towards network marketing. I've been in travel. I've been in, let's say, in the music industry and fashion. I've been in there for quite some time, but it's some information that I received that geared me towards network marketing. And we're going to get into that for a minute, but it is as a result to residual income is everything in the world to me and to a lot of people, and that's why we're doing it. But again, I'm here in the New York market, enjoying what I do, and ready to get this thing kicked off. Back to you, Miss Lottie. I don't know if you're mute. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted. I
Okay.
muted myself so you wouldn't hear me typing. But here's something that everybody wants to know, right? Especially since like COVID and everything like that, people have always been looking for an additional stream of income. I personally don't believe in a second job because that means a second boss. But why did you choose to get into the travel industry of all the other industries out there?
Well, that's a good question, and I appreciate that. One of the things is that once I found out that travel was an $8 trillion industry, and then I don't care what you put together, and I say together, not just solo, because anything, I don't care if it's entertainment, health and wellness, coffee, all those other, industries don't outdo travel. So when we say 8 trillion expected to go to 15 trillion, we're already 7 years into that 15 trillion. The idea of it all is you could just trip up and become successful, rich, wealthy, whatever you want in this industry. So the question is, why not? And being able to see that from this point of view, to understand that, people are going to travel. I don't think there's anybody allergic to travel, but let's say most people are traveling and want to travel. So why not? That's the question. Why not? When you know you could become flat out wealthy.
Now, when you first got started with the travel industry, now I know you traveled before you got in the industry. Did you know that you could be making money from travel, like the bookings that you were doing, the trips you were taking? Were you aware that you was just giving money back to people that you didn't even know?
had, had no idea, Miss Lottie. The idea, the idea was that I just wanted to travel, and that's what I did. I traveled abroad, but the idea of finding out that you can earn some income and it changed the game, and that's exactly what it did for me. So when I found that out, man, I said, wait a minute, hold on, right? And I took that ride, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. And for people who don't know, real quick, is that, hey, listen, people, you know how we put it in our industry. It makes sense to get paid on what people and yourself is doing anyway. It just makes sense. I'm going to travel. Why not pay myself, right? And knowing
Yeah.
that, that's why I went crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah, now see, I've been in the travel industry for a long time, and for me, it was more or less of I'm doing it anyway. I should be able to get
Hmm.
paid because who goes to work and says I'm just going to work for free? Everybody wants a paycheck at the end of the line, right? So I figured,
Hmm.
why not do it here? So why network marketing? What about
Yeah.
network marketing attracted you about it? Because I know there's going to be people watching who don't fully understand network marketing, MLM marketing, and are afraid of it. But why does it work for you and your family?
Good question. And I'm going to tell you this. And for people that don't know, because it's fair to say that most people don't know what they don't know. But once finding out, it changes the game like it did for me. Now, why network marketing? See, I was in the music industry, and we talk about something called residual. And if you don't know about residual, look it up, please. And network marketing affords you to to get that residual income. Not only that, if you really look up network marketing, a lot of people are afraid of that word, right? Network marketing, afraid of those two words. It's nothing to be afraid of. Understanding this, it's the number one. successful people that it produced more millionaires than any other industry in the world. That's one, right? But that residual is
Mhm.
real because we talk about what we do in our job. We call that earned income, where you have to do the work and you only get paid if you do the work. But in our industry, you do the work one time and get paid over and over and over and over again, right? And we got something called market shares. That's what we do. Miss Lighty, you already know that if I have somebody in California and I have somebody in Texas and I have somebody in Florida and I have somebody here in New York, it doesn't matter. They're going to be going out getting it done and getting paid when you're not even there. Come on, y'all.
Mhm.
That's we call that market shares
Yeah.
and getting paid while you sleep. And why not network? So when we talk about network marketing and knowing the idea of that you could get paid for certain things you don't do, right? It's something about getting paid for what you do, but getting paid for what you did. It's just powerful. And that's why network marketing for me. And it's something about being on something that's on the incline opposed on the decline, right? And that's the idea. And once you understand it, you'll fight through brick walls to be a part of it. Absolutely. Good question.
Yeah, because I know for a lot of people, they get a little skeptical. Like I'm in a group, and one of the things that they say about they don't like about network marketing is because the cost to get started is so high. Now, with our
Mm,
opportunity, it's only $200.
whew,
You
that's game
know,
over.
to be $200 with the ability to make 6 to 7 figures, and some people
Mm,
are making 5 figures a month.
hmm Anywhere you want to be at. And to your point, we're talking about $200 now. That's less than your smartphone. That's worse. I mean, that's one. Now, the idea of that is simply this. That's a one-time payment. What? What do we spend $200 on? All type of things that don't never year us any income. But yet and still we'll go out, have a good time, pay that $200 and don't even think about it. But when we're talking about a legit business that you could pay and it could afford you, as you mentioned, I don't care if you want to become a hundredaire, a thousandaire, or millionaire or billionaire, right? It says in our company, right? It says this, check it out. It said we're creating three types of people: billionaires, millionaires, and witnesses, right?
Hmm.
And that's exactly what we're doing because in 7 years we was able to produce, not even seven, I say 5.5 years, we was able to produce 3 millionaires.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, right? And then it's a host of $500,000 income earners, $250,000 income earners, and some six figures income earners, whatever. But giving you the ability to reach that. Now, I don't knock anybody's jobs because our jobs is what we do to pay our bills. But what we
Hmm.
do on this side can afford us to have a fortune. You understand? And our jobs will never yield us that type of income residually. I don't care if it's somebody making $1 million. It don't amount to our $1 million, right? Because
Yeah.
we said, right? Because they still got to be there. They owe somebody that time, and especially if you're getting paid that type of income, oh, they're going to be on you like you got to produce, right? Here,
Basically.
absolutely. And here, what happens is that nonetheless, we make that $1 million. It's residual. We have our 3 millionaires in our company now making over $1,000 a month. Somebody talk to me.
Yeah. Now, something that you said I want to bring around, we're going to go around because I see your wife on the line. You know, you're doing this with your spouse, right? Now, for
Absolutely.
those out there who are in relationships, whether you're married or not, but you got that person that's with you, how do you work your business together as a couple and keep being so successful as you both are?
Well, first of all, it's creating understanding. And you got to have that understanding. And you got to, find out where they at in the business in terms of how they support you, how you support them, things of that nature. And then, it's have an agreement. Now, if she loves what you do and you love what they do, it's a no-brainer, right? And if she doesn't and what have you, and you feel very strongly on it, you got to really work your business so she see the income come in. And ain't nobody gonna deny that, right? Because
Yeah.
it gets to show how you live your life. You understand? I could have this opposed to not having this. I could be able to go whenever I want. I could be able to buy whatever I want. There's something called those three freedom financial freedom, personal freedom, and that big one called time freedom. Now, if you're able to do that and being able to get along, because guess what? I'm going to tell you, any day of the week, it beats going to that job once you get to where you're going. But starting off, you got to see the big picture, right? It got to be a big picture. Right now, she's retired based on what we're doing because it gives us the free up and we get that income coming in, and that's what it is able to do, and we realize in this business, for those who don't know, retirement isn't about income. About, time and things. It's about income. If you got that income, you got that money coming in, you can say, hey, adios. I'm doing this, and you don't have to worry about that. And that's what it is. And having that understanding between one, and you got to have that understanding. And guess what? If I had to discuss getting into this business, $200, I'm in trouble. $200, what? And I just submit to everybody out there. If you, and most people say, and I'm not knocking, sometimes you got to go to your spouse and ask them, hey, listen, what do you think, this, that, and the other. But if she wanted to buy that bag, I don't care if it's Gucci, Fendi, whatever, and she really wanted it, she ain't going to ask you nothing. She's going to go out and get it, right? And find a way of getting it, right?
Yep.
But nonetheless.
And then come home and say, look what we got.
We got, right? What? My head turn around like the Exorcist, but no, right? But when we say about a business that could afford you these things, and that's why I say you got to be well versed on your business, knowing what you have, knowing what it can afford you, things of that nature. And once anybody, and I'll say this, Miss Lottie, once anybody understand what this business could have, they'll fight like crazy. They'll fight like crazy to get it, because we could work all day long on our jobs, doing those things and what have you, and it can't afford you the income that we can afford you. When we talk about here and get these three words: unlimited income, opportunities. Our jobs can't afford that. She sort of looks, she loves to travel and find out where she's at, and this having an understanding with your spouse. Find out where she at. Let her know that, hey, this is what we got, right? We got, quick story. When we came into this industry, she didn't want to have nothing. Well, I wouldn't say wouldn't have. My frat brother introduced me to this. And when he came, he talked to me. He said, listen, he said, Willie Cooper, we did some things, which I did some things with him. But the fact of the matter, I was off on my own this time, and I wanted to do things by myself. Nonetheless, he came. He said he found it. I wasn't interested in what he found. But nonetheless, he asked me two important questions at that time, because I didn't want to hear nothing he had to say. The first question was, he said, Willie Cooper, government name, right? Whole government. He said, Willie Cooper, how long have I known you? That was the first question. I didn't know where he was going with this. The second question he asked me, he said, and I can't get 60 minutes of your time. I'm pausing intentionally. That was my frat brother. He was good. I gave him that 60 minutes. And when I gave him that 60 minutes, it changed the game. I sat down, I saw what it is. I asked my wife to come. She didn't want it. She said, I'm not messing with you and your frat brother, right? So I asked her the question. I said, how long have I known you? And I can't get 60 minutes of your time. But nonetheless, she came kicking and screaming. But the moral of the story is that we didn't know what we didn't know. And we went down there. I saw it. I didn't want to have nothing to say to her because she was kicking and screaming. But again, make this short, he asked me two more questions. After I said, give me the application, I'm getting started. He said, two things I want you to do. The first thing, I want you to think of three people that would like what that was already in my head. I had my three people ready. He said, I want you to name your website. So here I am saying, wow, what am I going to name my website? A voice came out of nowhere and said, why don't you name it the Coopers? Now I'm looking around saying, who could this be? You know who it was? It was the spouse, it was my wife. I said, wait a minute. You gave me all this trouble coming down, but yet and still you want me to name it the Coopers. Nonetheless, my point is that she got it. Understand, people. You got to understand. You don't know what you don't know. Be open to receive the information that's being delivered, and I'm telling you, it can change your life.
Well, here's a question that we get a lot, right? And I'm just going to put it on the screen for you, because I actually had to have this conversation with somebody recently. They said, what do you say to someone who thinks this opportunity is a pyramid scheme? So we have people who look at this opportunity, and because of things like Avon, Mary Kay, Amway, and all these other different companies that are no longer here, They think it's a pyramid scheme. So how would you explain to someone who's looking at this opportunity? How would you break this question down for them?
Whew, that's a good one. We get that all the time. One of the things for me, and it's real powerful for me, I ask them, what is a pyramid scheme? Because I have to turn it back on them because most people don't know what a pyramid scheme is. They sit here talk about it, they think it's somebody that's on the top and you coming in and you'll never get to the top. So they think it's a pyramid. Everybody that's on the bottom loses and everybody on the top wins. That's what most people think. But if you look in corporate, you know, the CEO is going to be the CEO. Chances are you going to being the CEO won't happen. That's corporate. You understand? And all those things. But when we talk about a pyramid scheme is when monies change hand in hand and there's no products and service rendered. Our service is travel. We don't have that problem. The money we report it to the IRS. You understand? Miss Lottie, we have $65 overhead. That's because including our, mobile app. But yeah, but that's $65. We got to show IRS we in business. So you got to pay an overhead. So we won't be in business with the IRS if this is a pyramid scheme, right?
Yeah.
Right? We wouldn't be in business with Delta, right? United Airlines, all the hotels, right? All those things that's our service. We wouldn't be in partnership with them because they wouldn't do partnership with something that was illegal. So when we talk about pyramid scheme, we need to know what a pyramid is and what it is that we get to do. And just to knock out the person on the top and you never win, our number one income earner today, she was brung in by somebody who brung her in and she surpassed them, right? And became a number one income earner. So you can't come in and take this thing. So you don't have to worry about it's your work ethics and what you do will get you to where you want to go. So it all depends on the individual. It's not a pyramid scheme. I put that out there now because we got to report our money, right? So that's how I would handle that for sure.
And it's true because I'm evidence in our organization. The person that brought me in, I actually ranked up ahead of her before her. But does that mean that she's losing any money? No. The way that this works is that, okay, so this is how I explain it. I said, first of all, we're not a pyramid scheme because we're two separate businesses, two separate CEOs doing two separate jobs, and we're doing our jobs. But I don't make money off of you. I make money with you. Because my job is to help you grow your business if you allow it. And the more money you make, the more money I make. So wouldn't it make sense to help you make that money so I can make that little bit off of you? And it's not technically off of you, but I mean, it's no other way to put it. There's no way to put it. So if I help you make 100, I just made 10. So why would I want to help you make 1,000 or 1,000,000? And you could be making more money than the person who brought you in, and you could be making more money than the person that brought that person in. Like you said, it's all about your work ethic and how much you are willing to actually put into your business. And like I tell people recently, I said, your business will treat you like a business, but your hobby will treat you like a hobby.
We'll pay you the same way.
So we have a question here. Ms.
Yes.
Terry Green got full of questions today. She wants to know, do you need any special education to get started with this organization, with us?
The question is no. We learn as we go and we get paid as we go. And so we have three things that we say when we come into this business. And these are the three things. As long as you're coachable, teachable, and let us help you, you'll do fine in this business. And you'll go a long way in this business. So you don't have to have no degree. You don't have to know anything. Just be coachable and teachable and have a good attitude about what you're about to partake on. And you'll go far in this business. So to that question, yes.
Yeah, training is provided for you. Whenever you get started, training is just like you start your 9 to 5, your 5 to 9, there's training available. The question is, are you going to take the training?
Mm-hmm.
That's the big question. Are you going to take that training, complete the training, and then use what you've learned? Now, when I got started about 20 years ago. Oh, here we go. I got started about 20 years ago. And when I got started, the industry was very different. The training wasn't the same. We didn't have as much access as we do right now. But I learned, and I'm sure Mr. Cooper and Mrs. Cooper, they learned as they went, because the whole thing is to learn and earn at the same time. And if you think about it from your job aspect, you do the same thing. You go to work and don't know what you're doing, but you don't say, don't pay me until I learn something.
Mm-hmm.
You say, no, pay me my paycheck and then run me them education tests so I can go ahead and do what I need to do. You know, but there's a lot of, you don't have to. I had somebody ask me, they was like, so do I have to go to college? I said, I don't know. Do you? Like, I didn't understand the question, but they thought they had to go get like a specialized certificate. And I was like, no, I literally have somebody who partnered with me who basically had just finished going through school, got her travel agent certificate or program, whatever, and then just signed up with me. Haven't heard from her since. She's still active, still booking trips. She's having a grand old time. And then I have people who come in and have never booked anything in their lives and are still making money and having a grand old time because we're going to train you. And I know that's something that the Coopers definitely do. They definitely do training, and everybody knows I train. So let me ask you this question before we get to the next question. As a male in a female dominated industry, what do you say to the men who are interested in getting started?
See, most men have ego problems. But the difference is, in what I've learned, egos is shield over sword. Meaning what? It's no ego thing. It should be where it's dealt. When money talks and you see an opportunity, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter. See, when we could be humble, this is what Mr. Bradley said, and he's the founder of our company. And this is a brilliant mind to even come up with this opportunity where people are winning in a major way. But what he says is this, and when we realize that, he said, hunger, humility, poise, passion, maturity, doers, and thinkers. What did that mean? That simply means this. If somebody's hungry, you don't have to, you put a plate in front of them, they're going to show you how to eat. How bad do you want something that is in front of your face? You're going to let your ego take over that? And that's why most lose because of that. You'll stay in your same situation knowing that you're not winning, right? Knowing that you're not winning for an ego problem because of one. No, you see where you get in where you fit in. You do necessary things that's going to broaden your horizon, make your life worth living for. And we say we're living our best life in here. Who don't want to travel, have a great time living your life and getting paid to do it? So you let your ego take over that? No. So we do have a host of men that's in this business that's killing the game. Why? Because they see it. Matter of fact, it was a for all, and this is for everybody, but the men as well. But the ladies, you know how the lady is. Ladies say, well, I see it. I'm going for it. I'm going to make it happen. That's what the lady, and they don't let nothing get in their way. Yeah. Nothing get in their way. So in that respect, sometimes we got to take a page out of the lady's book. But one of the key things is be humble. Show that humbleness and that humility. You understand? And guess what? You can still be paused in who you are as a man. You know, we can still be that guy because we're going to need that. We're going to need that. Posture is everything. You understand? And you could be by your lady by her side and you'll be the best man. And I take a page out of Mr. Bradley and Miss Bradley's book. Absolutely. So those men who figure that they can't come in here and do some work.
It's definitely, you see a lot of men on the stage though.
Because they see it.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that some men that I talk to, they're like very my internet is like janky right now. Gotta love the internet and Wi-Fi. But so one of the questions that I also get asked is like, what was your biggest challenge getting started? For somebody who's nervous about getting and wanting to know more, what was your biggest challenge getting started and how did you overcome it?
Okay, that's a good question. My biggest challenge was, you know, and it's like most people coming in, you know, me, I get along, I say hello to people, this thing, but just to get people to understand this business. I mean, once I came in, you know, we all going to be faced with it. Those who you think will won't, those who you think won't will. And the very same people that I thought will didn't. So that challenge was, man, how do you get past this? You know, because I was, you know, sometimes you rely, man, you start making your list together, getting your list together, and you be like, well, I know my man John is going to come in, and Mike and Clarence, and it don't happen. So how do you fight through that? You know, one of the things I did to overcome that was to stay plugged into my business, not giving up, knowing within myself that I could win. Why? Because I see other people winning. And if had I gave up, I wouldn't be talking to you today on this Facebook Live. But the idea of it all, I had to continue to fight, knowing that I see what's happening. See, it's the difference between coming in, not seeing, and have to fight against something you don't see, because we're visual people, right? And we don't see people winning. But when I came in and I saw people winning, and I know that I could win for my family as well, and I push for that. And I study. See, a lot of people don't do this, and this is key. If you're coming in this, see who's winning, find out how they're doing, and we got a proven success system and follow it. But I know that was my challenge coming in, wanting it more for people than they want for themselves, hoping that they saw what I saw, and it didn't happen. So I had to fight through those. But I fought through it, knowing how to win right now is a big deal, and that's why we're winning, and we're going to continue to win. Good question.
Well, let's ask a fun question. Since you've been in this industry, what was your best vacation you've ever taken?
Wow, that's another good question.
If there's one.
If that's
might be two.
Right. Yeah. Listen, one of my great vacations is, and I got to put Jamaica up there. Why? Because when I went to Jamaica, I came home with a lot of gifts, right? I had a big mob bot, and people was wondering how I did it because, it was people that was on the beach selling things. And when I got up in the morning, I kind of communicated with them, had a good relationship, I should say, with them. And it was something where, we use the card all the time. The guy said, and he said, well, you don't have the card. He said, well, you could send it. I'll show you the stuff that I came home with. And I had the pleasure of doing that. I had a great time in Jamaica, and there's a host of other ones, but I use that as an example because I had a chance to come home with some good artifacts and what have you. So that's one of the best. I look forward to taking more trips, and because we're in the industry, but that's one of my favorites and what have you, for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. So as people are watching and people are chiming in, they're going to be watching this now or later, why should somebody, because here's my thing. My theory, and I want to hear your theory. My theory is stuff's just going to keep getting more expensive. The economy is not going to go down. The cost of living is not going to go down, and your paycheck's not going to go up. Why do you think people should really pay attention to where network marketing is going, especially with all of these jobs no longer being needed by people? Because you have computers that can do it for you, AI stepping in. Like somebody said that got mad because they said AI is taking over people's jobs. And the guy said, well, so did the tractor. When the tractor was made and it came out into the field, it took over 80% of the United States jobs because most people were farmers. It's like you have to grow and adapt. And if the economy is continuously to go up and your regular 9 to 5 isn't going with it, why not do something that can bring in extra income? So let's talk about that.
I love this. I love this because it's so important, and we have to be responsible as people to understand. Our founder talks about economics and politics, and we got to be somewhat aware of it, not to get solely crazy about it, but we got to understand where we're going. And Jesse, you made a key point when you talk about how people who have those jobs thinking that that's going to be the answer. It's not going to be the answer. It's not. If you, and I don't know how long anybody's been on their job, but if you've been on their job for a good period of time, it's clear that you're not going to get rich or wealthy behind it, right? Understand that if you lose your job and that's your one job, it's starting all over again. You got to have something else that's going to take the place of whatever. We said your job pays you and it pays your bills, right? Because you got to pay your bills, you got to do those things. And we understand we're not knocking jobs, but that's what's going to pay you. This is going to make a fortune for you when you're able to do these things and create where you can get paid while you sleep. See, understand this, and everybody need to listen up because this is real big. Now, when you speak of AI, and they're talking statistically that 80 850 million jobs will be lost. That's nothing to play with. And what do your future look like? Are you going to wait for something like that to happen, opposed to doing something that's going to what change some things? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If you're not doing anything marketing or anything like that, see, what I know is we're creating our own economy here.
Mm-hmm.
What? So we're creating our own economy, because I'm telling you, if I show 5 people how to earn some money and change their lifestyle, right? And they show some people how to do the same, and then they people show how to do the same, guess what? That's our own economy. How can people, you can't be stopped. Unless we stay compliant, do those necessary things we need to do, but this is an alert for everybody. So to the people out there, and you thinking that you're just relying on your job, when you're waiting for something to happen, such as, you might be in trouble.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so many people I see are looking for quick and easy ways. And, you know, people always say, I love that they say, well, you know, I'm looking for a work from home job. And I say, well, what about a work from anywhere opportunity?
Right.
Because I've worked my business sitting at the VA hospital, sitting at the airport, standing in line at Starbucks.
I love it.
Anywhere I got Wi-Fi, I got paid.
Mm-hmm. Key.
You know, and it's really great getting paid up to 8 times a month. And now for you specifically, I know, not that I'm counting his checks, everybody, or Miss Cooper, I ain't counting, but I'm just saying, you get paid on the 1st, the 10th, every Thursday, and y'all probably get on the 15th and the 28th. Knowing y'all.
Absolutely. And that's the difference. See, when you speak about, first it's the residual. But now when you speak on, as you put it all together, it's 8 streams of income, including the travel portion. Like the marketing 7, the travel is another one. So that makes 8 streams. Understand that we have residual bills. Wouldn't it be nice to have residual income to offset those bills? Then you could do something like saving. You could do something like what you want to do, your dream vacation, and travel like a merchant opposed to a consumer, right? We could do all those things, and why not? Mm-hmm. Why not? And if nobody have anything going for you, and you could tell the way things are going pretty much because you've been at your job for quite some time, when you want to make a change, when you want to do something that could change all that, my goodness, you know, in our business, the gentleman, Mr. Donald Bradley, said, we got to get to 850. And a lot of people thought that we was talking about people. He's talking about your credit score. And see, we got to understand, it's a responsible company. Culture is rich here. It's really rich because we're responsible in our message. See, it's not just about getting you in and try to make a little bit. No, we're going to live through this. We're going to make a living, and we're going to show you how to make a living as well so you can live your best life, right? And not only that, what's so important that we didn't get a chance to chop on, but understand this. When we talk about legacy, you get to do that in this company once you become a director. You understand? We got about 500 directors now.
Look, let me tell you about that legacy. I actually had a thought because, I'll be having random thoughts. And it's like people will sit there and be like, oh, I'm creating a legacy for my family and I'm doing all this at my job because I want them to have a legacy. But it's like, but when you leave, your legacy left with you. Like the only legacy that you're leaving is a storyline of your life where we're leaving you a legacy of income for your family to take care of your family. So whether your departure was planned or unplanned, we got a plan for you. You know what I mean? People always want to say they want a legacy, but I think people get so mixed up with the whole idea of, I think people confuse the word reputation and a legacy. You want to leave a reputation of your life and who you were and what you did and how you impacted people. You know what? That's great. I want that too. But at the same time, I don't want to leave my family with bills. I don't want to leave them in a way where they can't take care of their life. Take care of my funeral. Because y'all know me, I'm bougie. My funeral going to be a party. So I need to leave some real money for them to party my life. But people always try to say, I want to leave my son with this, this, and this. But you can't do that without this opportunity. I don't know of any other network marketing company, period, that affords you the ability to will your business to anybody you choose. Your 9 to 5 job ain't going to will you nothing. They're going to will you your leftovers from your desk. That's the only thing they're giving you in a nice little copier box, not even a pretty box. It's a copier box that they found from the storeroom. So it's like, I don't understand how people always try to sit there and get mad at the Marriotts and the Hiltons and all these other people and these kids who have all this money and they just acting crazy. It's like, no, because their parents set themselves up to set their kids up. These kids are not going into the world acting totally crazy, but they have legacy. They have accounts set up for them. They got college funds set up for them. They got business training for them. Don't let social media and all these reality shows fool you. These people, these kids know what they're doing. Because I know Paris Hilton is a great example. Paris Hilton, everybody thought Paris Hilton was this blonde-headed, dumb chick. If you ever heard Paris Hilton talk normally, she's like, no, that was my TV voice. This is what I really sound like. Like, she has a money mindset behind her. She just was having fun, as most teenagers would. But come on, you got, like I said, you got to change your circle and you got to grow your circle. I just tell my sister, if you hang around with broke people, you broke person number 5. If you want to make money, you need to be around people who are making money. You can't change your circumstances if you don't change your circumference. It's plain and simple. You know, and that's why my passion is to help people get started in this business, because I want to be able to do like I do now is call them up and say, hey, I'm getting ready to go to X country. Who wants to go? And don't have to worry about people saying, oh, I don't have the money. You know, you don't got the money. We work in this business. I get sometimes you may not have the time because, you know, life happens. Well, come on. I had someone tell me the other day that $200 was real expensive to start a business. I said, oh, God, don't try to open up a franchise.
Mm-hmm. And see, the idea of that, and I love what you said, because it's so important. And it's so important to be responsible and be responsible with your message. Understand this, just as what you said, in terms of what? In terms of, see, in the good book, and I don't know who all believers or not, but in the good book, it says, leave an inheritance for your children. That's right. You're going to leave them better than where you left, with the way they were, the way you were, and how you came in. But if you're able to leave that legacy, then you know their well-being will be well taken care of. And we get an opportunity to do exactly that. So when we do talk about our legacy and what we're doing here on this platform, yes, our idea is to help as many people as we possibly can. You understand? Some will say no, some will say yes, but guess what? We know the work that we are doing, right? And so people, when you're out there and you're looking, I ask people all the time, you're going to grow older. It's no doubt about it, right? But what will have changed as you do? Things are not going to stay the same. The economy is going, as you mentioned, it's going to continue to go up. You know, the prices of housing and the rent and the things you think no way. How do you adapt? How do you make the difference? We read the book, The 10 Distinctions Between Millionaires and Middle Class, right? Keith Cameron Smith. Excellent book. And the idea of it all is that's how you thinking. How you thinking. You got to change your mindset and the way you think in order to survive in this world today. That's a fact. I can't be thinking like I thought when I was a child, right? And everything is changing around me. And for me to stay the same, Mr. Bradley put it plain. He said, in terms of people crawling around, if you hadn't changed, you'll still be crawling around as an adult. But we learn to walk, we learn to run, we learn to do those things, and that's in life. So when your economy is changing, you better figure it out. You better figure it out. And here we have the opportunity. We got everything that's laid at our feet. The training, all those things that you mentioned, we get that. As a matter of fact, this week we'll be having 7-figure training. How to earn 7 figures. And we're learning from the likes of millionaires. And just as you said again, in terms of your circle. Our circle is millionaires, right? That's right. Our circle is millionaires. And guess what? I'll say it again. We're creating 3 types of people. Billionaires, millionaires, and witnesses. The question is, what would you be?
Yeah. Like right now, I want to say to anybody that's watching this, because we're going to get ready to wrap this up, because I know for some of you, your lunchtime is just about over and it's time to go back to work or whatever it is that you're doing. But this is an opportunity that you need to get on. We're about to hit 100K. We're about to hit a historical moment we're in an organization where we can show you that people are making money, unlike some of these other companies out there who are claiming people are making money but can't prove it. You know, we're in an industry that is tried and true, that everyone has been doing from day one, because everybody traveled from biblical times to future times. Everybody was traveling. The only difference is we just figured out how to get paid and to help other people who travel better. You know, we're helping people. People always say how when you get to the top, you need to turn around and bring somebody up with you. The question is, are you going to reach your hand up to be brought up? Or are you just going to sit there and complain about where I am and where I left you? Because I don't really leave people, but I'm not going to hold myself in a plateau because you won't come up. I'm gonna go to the next level and turn around and say, are you ready to come? No yet? Okay, I'm gonna keep going, because I'm not gonna stop making money for my family and those around me. And I don't wanna stop anybody else. Now, between the two of us, and Mrs. Cooper, because I know she's watching on the sidelines, you have some people here who are really ready to help you get to the next level. Like, I'm from New York, born and raised, you know, and the projects is where I played. And I went to the military. You know, so I'm a hustler, but I just did like Jay-Z. I turned my hustle into an actual business. So you guys don't see a lot of the stuff that me and the Coopers do on social media, because we're doing it on the sidelines. But those who know and those who stay with us and those who are choosing to grow, they're growing with us. And that's what we're looking to do right now. We have about probably less than 6,000 spots before that 100K mark. And I'm telling you, this is historical. I know my business. This is historical. We about to go into momentum. Most companies don't even make it this far. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't get in before momentum, when we go into momentum, you're going to miss that moment. Now, I'm not going to say you're not going to make money, but you're not going to make as much money as the people that got to the mountain first. Because you're going to be coming up. We're going to be on the top, pulling you up. But as we pull you up, we're going to keep going up. Now, you're going to get travel training. You're going to get network marketing training. You're going to get professional training, because I believe you should have professional and personal development. If y'all can see my bookcase right now, I need another one. I have so many books, like they're like double leveled in the bookcase because I don't have enough space. But you're going to get everything you need to have a successful business. So if you're watching this on either one of our timelines, go ahead and hit us up. You can hit me up. You can hit Mr. Cooper up. You can hit Mrs. Cooper up. And if somebody shared this to their timeline that you're watching, just hit them up. And if somebody tagged you, that means that they wanted you to pay attention. I need you to stand up and pay attention, because I'm telling you right now, things are going to get hot. And I'm not just talking about the weather. You know, we want to sit there and say that we want to help each other, and how we need to come together and build these neighborhoods, and how we need to go ahead and get the Black Wall Street back, and how we need to build our own schools. This all takes money. And by putting yourself in this circle, you grow your circle, which introduces you to bigger circle, which introduces you to people with influence. Because I can tell you right now, I know the Coopers have met some seriously influential people since they've been in this business, and I've helped them. And not even just on the business side. Like, I've met people who have helped me on the personal side, my life side. You know what I mean? This business is more than just about bringing home a paycheck. It's about changing your life and your family's life and just growing yourself. So with that being said, do you have any closing words, Mr. Cooper?
I'll share this real quick.
Mr. Cooper. That's not what we say when we meet each other.
Yeah, absolutely not. But you know how we do, right? It's a big deal. But check this out. This is what I have to say. As you mentioned, well, a lot of people have passion, and they say, I want to do my passion. Let me tell you, just as you mentioned, capital. Most people need capital to do their passion. This is a gentleman, Clayton Sizemore, when I say his name. This gentleman, his passion was yoga. He worked for CNN, managing 200 people, but his passion was yoga. He used this opportunity to get his capital in order. Now he owns 2 studios, right? One in Harlem and one in Florida. The idea, he let this fuel what it is that he really wanted to do. Understand, people out there. So if you have a passion to do something and you don't have the capital, this is the playground to work in. And even if you don't, I'm just saying that this is what we get to do. And as you mentioned, why this is so important when we talk about the momentum. There's 4 stages of business, ladies and gentlemen. You got to understand. There's formulation when you're just getting started. You know, you're formulating, getting things together. Then there's concentration, to where as though people start to know about your business. See, we're on the back end of concentration, going into momentum. So understand what momentum is. See, as Miss Lottie told you and mentioned to you, that once you get into that momentum phase in 100,000, we at 94,000 now. Hey, listen, let me explain something to you real quick. The fact of the matter is that once we hit that 100,000, we're going into momentum. Understand what momentum is. Momentum is where everybody pretty much knows about your business, and they know that it's doing something well, and they're going to want to get in. And it's just by them hearing about it. Oh, yeah, I remember Keisha told me about this business and this rope. Now she's going to join because it was Keisha. See, you need soldiers on the field in order to sign these people up because they're going to be coming in left and right. Millionaires are produced during the time of momentum. That's our third stage of business. So you want to be in by that time. You want to get in before the 100K come in, because by that time, a lot of people know about the business. They're going to be coming in, going to be joining people. You would have that same opportunity because you're in already right now. And those people are going to know because you're going to be talking about, and they're going to join you. It's not like you're getting started at 100K and trying to get those people in. It makes a difference. That fourth stage is stability. That means that you know who's stable now? Not to say, again, that you can't make money, but most of the money is made doing momentum. Understand this. I'm going to tell you stability now. Avon, stable.
Yeah.
Prime America, stable. All these big companies that been out for a while, they in stability. Most of their money was made already. See, they making money on the back end. You want to make money on the front end. So to you, this is what I share with you guys. Don't get started now. Please don't get started now. Get started right now. Absolutely. That's what you want to do. And I tell you guys, as Miss Lottie told you guys, we're going to help you every step of the way. We don't say you go do it. We say let's go do it. Because if you don't make it, in the sense of I don't make it. So it's to my interest to make sure that you get everything that you put it out. Right? And we do it as a company, not just as I'm talking, but as a whole company. We're connected. We're connected to the founders. We're connected to our leaders, the ones that really getting this thing running. So anything that we ask for, we're able to give. And that's a big deal. So it's nothing like being connected. You connected to us makes you're connected to our circle, right? And that's a big deal. So we get to do that. Miss Lottie, I thank you so much for the platform, the opportunity. You know, I know how you roll. You know how I roll. You understand? We taking this thing by storm. So I appreciate you for having this, having me on, and to be able to, reach out to certain peoples and let them know the seriousness of what's going on in the world today. Absolutely. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your schedule, because I know you have a busy schedule with everything that you're doing. And it's great to have you here so people can hear from just a different perspective.
Absolutely.
More of a, not to say other people are not go-getters, but come on, New York hustle conversation is a little different than other conversations. But as I said, reach out to us, reach out to the person that may have tagged you, and let us know how we can go ahead and get you going, and let us coach you, which means you got to be coachable, you got to be open to change, and you got to be willing to run to make money. Because I'm be blunt, I got people I'm training that are making commission checks with commas in it. We're not even talking the marketing side. I got people making commission checks with commas in it. And I'm connected to people who are making commission checks with commas with several numbers in front of that comma, just on the travel side. So if I know them, guess what? You know them. So guys, we're going to wrap it up. We want you to go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be looking for those messages. We're going to see you at the beaches and the banks, people.